Welcome back, guys. It's EBA 101 Boxing, and today we're going to talk about 2021, some of the fights that are going to happen, and some of the fights that we as fans want to happen. The first fight that we're going to talk about is Ryan Garcia versus Campbell, but before we do so, I just want you to remind you that like that button and subscribe to my channel on the road to 100 subscribers, so please help a brother out. Back to the fight. The fight is happening on the second. There's some, I think it's sold out. So Ryan Garcia is pulling his weight with his, the popularity. I know there's has been complications this whole year regarding how many attendance can be, So I don't know if he sold out to availability of spacing or just available seats. Whatever it is, he sold out. That's great. It shows that he is still very popular, and he's gonna get a lot of support in the future if he continues to win. The fight, I made a prediction video before, but it's a great way to start, in 2021, because right now the lightweight division is very stacked. It's very prone to. It's very about to blow up, I would say, because there's so many talented boxers in that division. And I know there's some that didn't look so well in this 2020, at least in their last fight, like David Haney and Rolando, Romero. Some people thought he lost that fight. He didn't look good. And there were some great fights like Lomachenko versus Lopez. Teofimo was able to pull out a victory and use his spacing, his boxing skills to outpoint Lomachenko. Lomachenko started way too late. And then there's Gervonta Davis with that beautiful knockout of Leo Santa Cruz, but I still feel like he shouldn't be fighting Leo Santa Cruz, but that's something that Santa Cruz wanted, and he got, and he got caught. So lately, Ryan Garcia has been looking spectacular in the knockouts and everything, and I think since he got with Canelo's camp, he's been looking a lot better, and he's been getting way better at knocking out people. He did state, haven't gotten a chance to be pulled into later rounds recently, and that is true. It's up to the opponent. If the opponent is good enough, he will take him to that rounds, and he's still fighting those levels to get to the championship level. And this is probably his biggest test, and hopefully he does well, because I do think that he does bring another element to the sport where it becomes popular, and non-traditional boxing fans come to the sport, and we always need some of those type of boxers that can transcend the sport. And I think he does. Whatever it is, it could be his looks, it could be popularity, it's YouTubers, friends, whatever it is, it brings way more casual fans to the boxing community, and that's always great to have, because it allows the sport to stay alive and bring big names as well. So I do think he's gonna win. If you want to check out the other video, go ahead there. But some other fights I want to see 2021. I know that ESPN did some comments on it. Tim Brad, he's like, one of the fights that's not happening is Spence versus Crawford, and we'll touch more upon that. But let's start it with bantamweight Inoue. I want to see him fight like a Guillermo Rigondeaux. If that would be a fight that can be made, that would be really great. Let's go with then in lightweight, like we said, there's a lot of fighters. If Ryan Garcia could fight Gervonta Davis, and I think that's the fight that a lot more people want to see, because there has been beef in the past. But any of those fighters, if they fight each other, that'd be great, just to clear up some names out, and get like top 3 lightweights. That would be really nice to see, because I think Lomachenko is being forgotten for a little bit right now, because I feel like Lomachenko will still beat most of the other names besides Teofimo Lopez. And who knows, and if there will ever be a rematch, which there's not going to be, he might be still be able to pull the win out. But we doubt that that's going to happen, because Lopez doesn't want to give that rematch. And then let's go to junior welterweight, the fight that they want to see, because Jose Ramirez is close to where I live, so he represents the Valley, Central Valley in California, versus Josh Taylor. This fight hopefully does happen, just to have an undisputed fighter in 2021. That'd be a great fight, and I wish I know things clear up more so I could be there live, because that's one of the fights that hopefully I could be there live for, just be historic. Um, he would be the first, I think, Hispanic or Mexican American or Mexican that to become undisputed. Then welterweight, the division that everybody is talking about. Errol Spence came back from his accident. He looked good. Good. He looked great actually. Crawford, this fight, I don't think it's gonna happen either in 2021. Money issues is a problem. I hope they just not forget about the money, but make a reasonable offer. If they don't fight each other, then Manny Pacquiao fighting uh, Errol Spence or Crawford would be a great fight. And if that doesn't happen, Porter versus Crawford has to happen. They've been lowballing, um, Porter, and he deserves more. He's been a two-time champion. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch, even though he has that weird style, like that headbutt style, which on low blow style, whatever it is, people complain about. I felt that Errol Spence threw a lot more low blows in his fight versus Porter than Porter did. So, yeah, it's not the most technical fight, but he fights with heart, and he goes out there to win. So that'll be an interesting fight to see if those other fights don't happen. Porter versus Crawford. I don't want to hear like, oh, you're going to get 30%, you only get 1 million. Come on, man. Like, I feel like that's a way to avoid him. I don't know if it's a duck, whatever it is, but Porter deserves more than that. Being a two-time champion. And in the fight that he lost, it was very, very close for Spence. Um, then let's go move up to the middleweight division. Jamal Charlo versus a Triple G, or Triple G versus Andrade would be a great fight to watch. I don't really want to watch Canelo and Triple G again. I've said it many times. Um, so if they can make Triple G happen with either of those guys, or even Jamar Charlo move up to 168, fight Canelo, because he's one of the few fighters besides Caleb Plant that I feel that will give Canelo some issues and make the fight a little bit more competitive. Um, at this point, because I do think Triple G has kind of lost a step. I feel like, yes, the first fight was, I think Triple G won. The second time the fight, I feel like Canelo won by a little bit, but I feel that he has still even lost more since they fought, and Triple G needs to fight someone else besides Canelo that's on top of the game. He just really does. He needs to prove something. He can't be fighting just nobodies, and I know they're mandatories and stuff like that. Dermanchenko came out to be a good fighter, but that was just throwing dice, and he failed to get a good matchup, right? Um, and then heavyweight, Tyson Fury versus Joshua. That is a mega fight that can happen next year, even if they drop the belts to make it happen. I know that it would be nice to get an undisputed champion, but that'll be as close as you can get to undisputed, because they're the top two top two heavyweights, and we want to see that fight. Joshua had his moments, rocky moments with Andy Ruiz, knocking him out, and then he came back and slim and outboxed him, and then he's added some muscle back again. He's going to start adjusting, I think, to the fighter or the boxer that he needs to. If he needs to be a little bit more keep away, then he's going to become slimmer. If he needs to get a knockout, he will become a little bit heavier. Versus Tyson Fury, he has to have that balance. He has to be quick enough and still have that power to knock him out, because he outboxed Andy Ruiz, but Andy Ruiz really short guy for a heavyweight. It's easier to outbox him using your length and everything like that. Tyson Fury is a better boxer overall. At least he's been doing it more technical wise and weird wise, right? He has a weird style. So I feel like he needs both speed and power to beat Tyson Fury. I know Tyson Fury has had some controversies themselves. Some people are really against him because of what Wilder has said, and other people are like, no, forget about it. That's BS. He's just making excuses. There's sides to both. At the end of the day, he is undefeated. He is the champion, and people do want to see Tyson versus Joshua, and that will wrap up like a big 2021 if that fight is going to happen. That would be probably bigger than any. If I feel that that's a bigger fight than Crawford versus Spence at this point. That, if it gets marinated a little more, Crawford starts fighting a little bit better opponents like Porter, starts beating them, and someone beats Pacquiao, then okay, I would consider that to be the biggest fight. But right now, I still consider Joshua versus Tyson the fight of 2021 to be made. And hopefully, this is a year that it's great for boxing. Um, and I just want to say Happy New Year's to everybody. Stay safe. Again, please like and subscribe.